My name is Steve Kunst, and my EDU 710 Capstone project is Transition to Distance Learning. The purpose of my capstone project was to use technology tools to help teachers transition from teaching in a face-to-face classroom to a distance learning setting. The tools I used to accomplish this were Google Sites, screencasts, and Padlet. This is the home page of my capstone project. At the top of the page, you'll see the title, Transition to Distance Learning. Below that, you'll see the reason why this website was created. And then underneath that, you'll see the learning goals for my students. My 4 learning goals came from the ISTE standards for educators. From the home page, my learners can click on the Tech Tools tab. If they hover over it, it shows the 5 different tech tools that I explained in my capstone. They can also click on the Tech Tools page, and then they have links to each of the 5 tech tools from here. From the Tech Tools page, we can click on Screencast, and that will bring us to the Screencast subpage. At the top of the page, we have a brief description of what a screencast is, and below that we have a specific screencast software called Screencastify. I have 2 screencast videos on Screencastify. The first one is how to record a screencast. The second one is using the drawing tools. I also have 3 pros and 3 cons of Screencastify. If we scroll down the page, the next screencast software I have is Loom. And in this video, I show you how to record a screencast using Loom. I have 3 pros and 3 cons of using Loom. For my learners to demonstrate their understanding, I have a Padlet. To start a discussion, they can click on the plus sign, and then they are able to either write their question or discussion, or they can post a screencast to this Padlet. The second tech tool that I explain is video conferencing. So if you click on the video conferencing tab, it brings you to the video conferencing subpage. Again, at the top, I have a brief description of what video conferencing is. Below that, the first video conferencing software that I talk about is Zoom. So I have 4 screencast videos. The first one is how to join a meeting. Second is how to create a meeting. The third is different in-meeting options, and then the fourth is how to create breakout rooms. The second type of video conferencing software that I talk about is Google Meet. I have 2 videos here. The first one is how to create a meeting, and the second is different features for Google Meet. Again, at the bottom of this page, I have a place for my learners to demonstrate their understanding. Again, to post on this Padlet, they would just click on the plus sign. The third technology tool is YouTube. After you click on the YouTube tab, you will be brought to the YouTube subpage. At the top, you'll have a brief description of YouTube. And the 2 screencast videos that I have, the first one is how to create YouTube videos for your student. And the second is specific to teachers at my school that may need to approve YouTube videos for their students if the students are blocked from viewing those videos. Again, at the bottom, I have another Padlet where my learners can demonstrate their understanding. The next tech tool that I explain in my capstone is Google Classroom. On the Google Classroom subpage, you'll have a quick overview of what Google Classroom is. And then I have an extensive amount of screencast videos explaining how to do different things in Google Classroom. So anything from creating a class and adding students, all the way down to using originality reports and the gradebook in Google Classroom. At the very bottom, I have a Padlet where my learners can post to demonstrate their understanding. The final subpage is Tools for Assessment. In here, I explain how to use 3 different types of assessment tools for distance learning. The first is Google Forms, the second is PlayPosit, and the third is Edpuzzle. At the bottom of this subpage, I have another Padlet where my learners can demonstrate their understanding. The last page on my Google site is a contact form. This was created using a Google form. If my learners have any questions, then they can fill this out and submit it, and I will receive that question. When creating my Capstone project, I use Liz Kolb's EEE framework as a guide. The three components of the EEE framework are engagement, enhancement, and extension. My project meets the criteria for engagement by allowing my learners to focus on the learning goals with less distraction. I was able to do this by keeping my screencast videos short and to the point. The technology tools I use also motivate my learners to start the learning process. My Google site has a simple design that helps my learners educate themselves on the specific tech tools they need help with. By adding a Padlet to each subpage of my Google site, I helped create a shift in the behavior of my learners. By allowing them to post and discuss, they move from passive to active social learners. My project meets the criteria for enhancement by allowing my learners to demonstrate a more sophisticated understanding of the learning goals. They are able to demonstrate this by posting screencast videos or text to the provided Padlets. My screencasts also make it easier for my learners to understand concepts and ideas using scaffolding. My screencasts walk my learners step by step through each tech tool, and they also progress from simple to more advanced concepts. The Padlets and screencasts allow my learners to demonstrate their understanding of the learning goals in a way that they could not do with traditional tools. They can do this by creating a screencast showing comprehension of each learning goal and posting it to the Padlet. My project meets the criteria for extension by using technology that creates opportunities for my students to learn outside of their typical school day. The Google site, along with the screencast videos and Padlets, are available 24 hours a day. The technology I used also creates a bridge between students' school learning and their everyday life experiences. The information that my students are learning can be used immediately with their own classes. The tech tools that I use also allow my students to build authentic life soft skills, which they can use in their everyday lives. One of the most important soft skills is the ability to communicate with their students online using screencasts and video conferencing software.